It started in a quiet way, with the tagged photos. His own page was silent, carefully empty, but the tags were different. They were little windows left open by other people, showing a life that was continuing without me. In the beginning, I'd look out of a kind of gentle curiosity. I'd type his name in the search bar, tap on the tagged pictures, and just breathe. A group of coworkers at a bar. A birthday cake for his cousin. I told myself it was fine. It was just a way to check in, to see that he was okay. But the checking in became a habit, a reflex my thumb learned without asking my permission. It was the first thing I'd do when I woke up, before my eyes had fully adjusted to the morning light, and the last thing I'd do in the dark. I learned the names of his new friends and the places they went. It felt like watching a movie of a life I used to be in, my face pressed up against the cool glass of my phone. About 2 weeks in, I started feeling phantom vibrations. A buzz against my legs so real it would make my breath catch, a confusing flutter of dread and hope in my stomach. I'd pull my phone out, my hand a little unsteady, and the screen would be dark. It was just the memory of a notification, a message that wasn't coming. My own body remembered waiting for him, even when my mind knew it shouldn't. Food lost its taste. I'd stand in front of the open refrigerator and feel the cold air on my skin, but nothing looked good. Sleep was hard to find. My mind would just play the same scenes over and over. His smile, the way he looked at someone else. The same way he used to look at me, I thought I was handling it. I was going to work, I was answering texts. And then I saw the dog. Gus, the scruffy terrier we adopted together. He was the one piece of our life I missed with a real physical ache. It was a new picture, tagged by someone else. Gus was in a park, bathed in sunlight, looking happy. It wasn't the picture that broke my heart. It was the account that had posted it. A woman I'd never seen before. And her caption was simple. It said, "My handsome new walking buddy." My. That one little word landed with a quiet thud in my chest. He had let someone new into that part of his life. He had let her walk our dog. A slow, heavy wave of sadness washed over me. I could feel my own heartbeat, a steady, painful drum. This wasn't just a friend. It felt like I was being quietly written out of a story I thought was ours. That's when I reached the bottom. The truly quiet, lonely part of the sadness. The next Saturday, I did the one thing you're never supposed to do. I drove to our old park, the one where we spent so many Sundays with Gus. I told myself I just needed to be outside. I sat on a bench and I waited. Then I saw her walking toward me with Gus on his leash. She threw a ball for him and he bounded after it, pure joy. He wasn't there, it was just her. He trusted her with the dog. He had given her a key to a part of his world. I sat there and felt myself become transparent, like the world was happening on the other side of a piece of glass. The shame of it all felt so heavy. I don't really remember driving home. I remember the silence in my apartment when I walked in. It felt enormous. I slid down to the floor and just lay there, the rough carpet against my cheek. This, I thought, is what it feels like now. That night, in the blue light of my laptop, I typed a simple question into the search bar. How to stop hurting your own feelings. I looked through articles and forums. Then, in the comments of an old blog, I found something. A small thread of people who understood. One of them wrote, "I was where you are." I found something called the 7-Day Reclamation Protocol. It's simple, but it helped me find a foothold. Reclamation. The word felt different. It wasn't about moving on or forgetting. It was about taking something back. I was so lost I figured I had nothing to lose. I found the list. Day 1 was the digital fog. It didn't say to block him. It said to mute. Mute his name. Mute his friends. Mute the dog. Mute his neighborhood. I went through my apps and typed in the words one by one, creating a quiet space. A part of me panicked. How will I know what's happening? The protocol said to write down one small victory. On a sticky note, I wrote, "I can't see him anymore." I put it on my monitor. Day 2 was the spatial edit. The task was to change one room in a significant way. I spent an hour pushing my couch against the opposite wall. I moved the lamp and turned the rug. When I stood in the doorway, my own living room felt unfamiliar. The old sad path from the door to the couch was gone. It was a small change, but it was a change I had made. My victory. My home looks different. Day 3 was the 5 senses inventory. Go outside and name 5 things you can see, 4 you can feel, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 you can taste. I felt silly standing on my porch, but I did it. See, a weed growing in a crack, a blue car, a bird on a wire. a wisp of a cloud, my neighbor's front door. Feel the cool concrete under my bare feet, a light breeze, the rough brick of the wall, the hem of my shirt. Hear a distant siren, a dog barking, leaves moving in the wind. For just a few minutes, my mind wasn't spiraling. It was just here. It was connected to the world. The win I wrote down was, I felt the wind. The next few days were filled with small, deliberate acts. Day 4 was making a grilled cheese for lunch and listening to the sound of the bread toasting in the pan. Day 5 was walking to a bookstore and buying a novel by an author I didn't know, just to have a new story in my hands. Day 6 was writing him a long, messy, honest letter on a piece of paper, then taking it outside and burning it, watching the words I couldn't say turn into ash and float away. This morning was day 7. I woke up, and the sun was filtering through the blinds. My very first thought was not about him. It wasn't about the park or the dog or her. It was, I need to water my plant. The thought was so simple, so wonderfully normal, it felt like a quiet miracle. Later, as I was making coffee, I scrolled through my phone. I was halfway down the page before I noticed what I wasn't doing. I hadn't searched for his name. The impulse, the little itch that had been under my skin for months, was just gone. The space he used to occupy in my mind was just quiet. I'm sharing this because I remember what that floor feels like. I know how heavy the silence can be. I never thought a simple 7-day list could make a difference. It didn't heal my heart overnight. The sadness is still there, a soft, quiet thing I carry with me. But it gave me my own mind back. It gave me a set of instructions for how to be a person again. Each small, simple task was like a stone placed in a river, something solid to step on to get to the other side. So if you're there, if you feel like you're watching a life that isn't yours anymore, the way back isn't one big leap. It's small. It's quiet. It's rearranging your furniture. It's feeling the wind. Find a list or make your own. Just reclaim one small thing. It might be the first step toward finding yourself again.